Hi, this is Jessica Mays, Infusionsoft Certified Consultant and the owner of Mays Consulting Group. I wanted to show you today something that I discovered just a couple of days ago inside my Infusionsoft application. I can't find it documented as a software update or an enhancement or bug fix, so I don't quite know what to refer to it as, but a software update did roll out this week, and I have a feeling that this works this way because of that software update. But like I said, there's no documentation of it. So I guess I just don't know why this is doing what it's doing, but it's awesome. So I want to make sure people know about it. So I want to give a little bit of context. We can create custom fields inside of Infusionsoft, and specifically inside of contacts, we can create up to 100 custom fields. Custom fields can be all sorts of field types. So there's a text field, there's a text area field, there's a whole number field, there's a date field, there's a date/time field, and certainly there's not necessarily a wrong answer as to what you select. You just want to make sure that the info that you need to gather can be accepted in that type of field. So if you need somebody to type words into a field, you would not select whole number, for example. I most of the time use text field and text area field because the word text, by definition, in the context of what we're talking about here, is letters, numbers, symbols, and so you kind of can't go wrong that way if you go text or text area. The one big exception is if I need like a drop-down field or a list box, or if I need to use my date timers, if I want to use my, actually technically they would be called the field timers inside of Campaign Builder, you need to use the date field, the custom date field, to make those work. So anyways, what I discovered is something cool when you're using the text area field. So I do a lot of Infusionsoft coaching and consulting sessions, and so I've got these recap. I type in my notes, so call 1 recap, I'll type in notes. Action items are the homework after call 1, I'll type in notes. Call 2 recap, same thing, on and on. And so what I'll do is I'll type in, today we reviewed what you have been doing, working on in your application since our last session. Now, that wouldn't be a call 1 recap because call 1 you didn't have a last session. But anyways, you get the picture here. All right, and then I like to have little clusters of information. So now I'm going to talk about something else. You are ready to import your mailing list, and we'll do so this weekend. And perhaps you are almost ready to launch your first campaign. Okay. So what I'm trying to illustrate here is I have these clusters of information. They don't need to all be in the same paragraph because it's kind of all over the place. So I put in these, I hit enter on my keyboard to create the space. So I've been doing this for years, and so now I'm very much in the habit of merging this field into an email. But what was happening was the space here and here was stripping out. So it would merge into the email like this. Okay, and it didn't look great. So what I would do is I would then go into the email and I would go like this. And then I would send the email. And then sometimes I would, people would hit reply and we'd have dialogue going on back and forth. And I would discover that even though I went in and did this, this is what they got. Okay, so it was stripping out me trying to put those returns in. So what I have been doing for a really long time is I've been prepping it the way I want it in here, and I don't even know why, because it was stripping out, as you know. And then what I would do is I would put it into the email. I would highlight it. Now pretend I'm in the email. I would copy it. I would go out to Notepad. I would paste it, and then I'd put the returns back in and spacing. And then I would copy it again, chuckling because it's just so painful, right? And then I would go back over to the email, I would paste again. So I'd almost be there, but the problem with that is it would paste in the wrong font and the wrong size. So then I'd highlight it again, put the font I like for Dana, and put it at a 12, and then I was ready to rock. So time consuming, yes, but this is the system, and it really is a nice system. It just is a little tedious. So anyways, this week I was doing my notes. I did I brought up the email, and what do you know? This happened. Watch this. Let me put in some notes down here as well. All right, so I'm going to save this. And I'm going to, I like using this send an email command from the contact record. And then I grab my template. I have a template set up for call ones. Hit submit. And there are my notes. Spacing, I'm going to highlight it. So, oops, I'm going to highlight it just so you can see exactly what we're dealing with here. This information, it's spaced correctly. It is the right font. It is the right size. So this is going to save me, I mean, you saw what I was doing, a tremendous amount of time. And if you happen to be doing this, it's going to save you a tremendous amount of time. And if you never thought to, write call notes into a field like that and merge them into an email, I highly encourage you to do so. Now, one thing I do want to point out about this is if you desire to have, bold font, bold font, it's not going to push in. So you can't really format what you're typing into that text area. You can't, get italics into play, bold into play. You can't have hyperlinks. There's no way to put those into the call note box and push hyperlinking in. So perhaps you have to tweak these, notes before you actually hit the send button. But the fact that this is formatted, coming in formatted, is 90% of the issue. And so now that that's done, it's going to save you a tremendous amount of time. And by the way, the bold and italic and hyperlinks and stuff, that never pushed in. So, and I can't imagine it ever would. So this is a huge, advancement in saving us time, making this easier, and taking some frustration out of prepping these emails. So that is an overview of what I mean when I say information typed in to a text area field, and you could type that information in right in the contact record, or you could fill out a web form, and if that text area field is included in the web form, that you could gather the information that way. But that information is now pushing into emails. The merge field for that text area field is putting the information in spaced out as you intended. Great, great news.